Hey guys, this is Nick with Storm Off-Road in Morton, Illinois. Today we're going to be doing a install, unboxing, and review, not necessarily in that order, of the Diode Stage Series 3-inch LED pods. This setup is actually for the 2020 Ford Superduty. It'll fit the 15 to 20 F-150s and the 17 to 20 Super Duties. Replaces the factory fog light. Before we unbox, we'll go ahead and take a look at the truck we're putting them in. 2020 Ford F-250 Super Duty, replacing these factory halogen fogs. The Stage Series cubes. They're just going to go in the factory housing, come with a new bezel, makes it look pretty factory. Alright, as you can tell, these come very well boxed from Diode. Nice outer box here. Open it up, you got two separate boxes on the inside. You got the F2 style mounting kit. That's for the F-150s and the Super Duties. So you got a hardware pack, you have a couple plugs, you got some instructions here. Got the actual brackets here. As you can tell, these are really well designed. Look like an OEM plastic, made to fit in the factory hole without any modifications. Just put your cube in there and go to town. These are side specific, so you're going to see the angle there. One side's going to be left, one side's going to be right. Show you that on the truck when we go to it. The rest of the hardware kit, you see you've got some instructions here. Got a hardware kit, one for each light here. You got the plugs that make these completely plug and play. So this is going to be your factory fog light plug. That's going to go into the Diode cube there. Real nice weather tight connector. So you can see with the actual cubes here, this is the Pro fog light pattern. These are real nice design. There's a nice heat sink on the back. Weather tight. You can see that lens there. It's actually a Diode design. It's a silicone based lens. Creates a great optic, great cutoff for the fog pattern. These are SAE compliant. As you can see, if you put the fog light in the bezel here, this gives a nice clean look. Fits in that hole. Really nice design. We'll grab some tools and we'll put them together. So what you're going to do, first you're going to figure out which is the top and the bottom. There's going to be a little diode. You can see that. Put the cube in just like that. Easiest way to start is to get your nuts down in these little pockets there. As you can see, this is just going to go into there just like that. So if you put both the lock nuts into the pockets, and the trick here is to get all this together without letting those drop out. So go ahead and take your washer, put it on there, and go ahead and fish it down into here. You're gonna need a 4mm Allen key. Take it and you're just gonna spin it into place. I found it's easier to kind of keep it loose until you get both sides done. Other side's a little more tricky, so what I found is easiest to do is go ahead and put your washer in first if you can. little pocket behind here you can kind of fish it in. It doesn't drill that way. It's a little hard to do with a bandaged thumb, but get the idea. You're going to take your Allen screw, fish it down in here. You're just going to find that nut inside there. You can see it kind of fell out there, so there we go. What I like to do is kind of flip it upside down so you know that the bracket's flush with the light, and then go ahead and tighten it down. You don't want to over tighten these, but just get them kind of finger tight. If you look at it, you kind of have a little bit of a gap on both sides, but once you get in there, you won't be able to see it as bad. You can see it's tight, but you still have some wiggle room to be able to adjust it up and down. These are slotted, so you can move it back and forth inside the bezel as well. I'm just going to do that for both sides. Same thing with the other side. You're just going to fish that washer in as best you can. Whatever method you find makes it easier. See my little friendly fly here chewing me up as I'm trying to do this. Same thing with the other side. It's going to be a little tricky, but if you kind of tilt it down, that nut goes forward. You fish that screw right in place. Lay it flush on the table. Tighten them down. There you go. Now you got both of them and we're ready to move over to the truck and start the prep work on the truck. Like I was saying with those side rubber pieces, I guess we can do that first. They're going to fit right in this little pocket here. They're just going to go into place and be a little filler essentially. Covers up that screw hole so you don't see it from the outside of the truck. Alright, let's move over to the truck and go from there. Alright, as you can see, we do have this truck up on a lift, so this does make this a little bit easier, but it's not necessary at all. You can take these fog lights out from the front with a pry tool. I don't recommend it, but if you don't have a lift and you don't want to go through the work that I'm going to show you in the next few steps, it is possible to do it. It's not the easiest to do. You still have to get behind to get the alignment screw out, but we'll show you how to go in here through the back, take this bracket off, and then we'll go through and show you how to pull out the old factory fog light and replace it with a new one. So first up, we're going to take out these 4 bolts here to remove this metal plate. You need a 15mm socket wrench. Electric ratchet makes it easier, but it's not necessary at all. I do have this tire turned to where I have more access up in this area, and it's also on the lift, so the tires drop down a little bit more. If you're doing it in your driveway, I definitely recommend turning the tire to get the room to do this. This next step's not 100% necessary, but it makes it a little bit easier to get to the side clips, especially with the way this bumper is designed. So I'm going to remove these 4 8mm bolts here, or screws. Before you remove the top ones, you're going to want to pull this clip out from the fog light, and then you're going to want to remove these clips here with a trim puller. So you can get these trim pullers from O'Reilly's or any auto parts store. They've got teeth on them that go around the trim tab, to be able to pull it out, make it super simple. This is a smaller one. They've also got a little bit bigger one here. And then my favorite one, this guy right here. It's got a little bit smaller teeth on it. And I actually get this at Walmart in the tool aisle. It's a carpet tack puller. Super handy for these little clips, especially when they're a little bit smaller. And it's $1.99. It's a lot cheaper than 10 to 12 bucks for the other tools. So we pulled this one out. We need to remove this one here. Just underneath it, a little bit of space to work. And you can just slowly pull up without breaking it. And this is going to be out of the way. Kind of tuck it out of the way for a little bit of movement. I'm going to take these two 8mm. So all four of those are out of the way, and then you'll be able to pull this whole fog light assembly out of the truck. We'll go over to the bench, we'll take a look, and I'll show you how to disassemble it and put the Stage Series assembly back in there on the truck. Alright, so as you can see, these little clips right here on the side are what holds this fog light assembly in. Like I said, you can do this on the truck, it's just a little bit easier to do on the bench here. First thing we're going to do is remove this screw and the spring. It's the adjustment screw and spring in here. Just going to be a Phillips head. The screw and spring will come right out. Next thing you're going to want to do is take a pry tool, screwdriver, pick, anything. You're going here, you're just going to lift this up enough to pull out the fog light. So you want to try to do it without marring it up too much. Sometimes they can be stuck in there, especially if you got an older truck. This truck's brand new, so it shouldn't be too bad, but it can still be a little tough. That side, over the other side. You can see what I mean about not marring it up. Just give it enough room to where it'll pull out. There you go. As you can see, that factory fog light will just pull right out of this assembly. This assembly you're going to want to put back in the truck, so you need to keep that. This fog light, put the retaining screw back and just put them on the shelf, throw them out. Whatever you want. In this step, you can't put this fog light into here just yet, but I'll show you how this works just so you can see it. This is designed to mimic the factory fog light. So the clips are in the same spots. They go right into the housing the same exact way. So it's just going to go right into there. But because that fog light housing only has that much space in the front, you can't put this bezel through it from the back. So you have to do it from the front. So we'll put this back in the truck and then we'll show you how to reassemble everything. All right, so back of the truck, we're going to take this fog light bezel or bracket. We're going to put this back. There's a couple alignment tabs here and here, which are going to go into these holes here. So you just want to line those fitting properly. And then that should line up your holes for your 8mm to go back in place. So you got your two down here. You got your two up here. Once you're done with that, take your plug back out, you can go ahead and put it back into place where it clipped before. You can go grab your Diode Dynamics plug, take a little dielectric grease, go ahead and put it inside the new plug. You don't need a lot. It's enough to kind of coat the connection. And you're gonna see here, you're gonna have, if you can see it, you're gonna have a positive and a negative on here. So you're gonna look for the positive and the negative on the fog light. If you don't have the wiring diagram, if you look at the light here, you got a brown and you got a black. So you're gonna do brown to positive, black to negative, and that's gonna give you your connection. It's gonna go to the Diode Dynamics light there. So from this point, you can kind of fish this forward so you can put it on the light. You can reassemble this back piece if you want to now, or you can wait till you're done. We'll flip around to the front and I'll show you how to put in the light into the front. I don't know if you can see this stellar production equipment, but this GoPro is mounted onto an adjustable tripod, zip tied to a fan. So someday maybe we'll upgrade that, but for now it should work out pretty good. Alright, so what you're looking for here, so you got your mount. If you see this setup in here, it can go one of two ways. What you're looking for is whatever way makes the light flush to the front. So you can see this bezel is kind of angled off to the side for the bumper. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in here just like this. Adjust my production equipment here. So we're gonna put it in here just like this. So first we're gonna plug in a little dielectric grease in here. You're gonna plug in your pod here. So you can see there's only one way this can go in. So you just plug it in to there. You're gonna wanna hear it click, or at least feel it click. So if it doesn't click, it's not in all the way. Sometimes it can take a little bit of force, and if you put too much dielectric grease in there, it can make it a little bit tough to get in and out. There we go. Clicked into place. You're just looking for a nice steady connection there. From this point, you're just gonna basically push this back into place. Those tabs are gonna go into those clips back there and hold it in. So if you just feel it, push it into place, and you're in. As you can see, that light's going to be facing forward now. It's going to be level with the front. It's not going to fit at the angle of the bumper. If it did, you'd be pointing off to the ditches all the time. So the light's going to be facing straight ahead to mimic that factory fog light. Install is going to be exactly the same on the other side. So we'll do the other side, drop it down, get some video of them turned on, and let you take a look at them in action.